Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, "Envy consumes good deeds like fire consumes dry wood." At 11 a.m., an email went out. Abdulla is now a manager. Within minutes, the news moved through the office, congratulations echoing from desk to desk. Ammar's chest grew tight. He had carried the hard loads for years, yet now the light fell on someone else, and he sat in the shadows, watching. 8 years in this company. He'd taken the massive projects, the ones everyone avoided, and seen them through. Abdulla had been here half that time, and now his name was in the subject line, his smile at the center of the room. The thought came uninvited, sharp and heavy. I've done more. I've given more. With the promotion, Abdulla now led the project. Ammar reported to him. The change brought small frictions, less eye contact in meetings, shorter replies. One morning, Abdulla asked Ammar for the client file in front of the team. Ammar's screen showed the document, ready to send. His cursor hovered over the send button. For a moment, he just stared at it. He sipped his coffee, scrolled through the file, adjusted the formatting, though it needed no changes. Seconds ticked by. The room felt heavier, waiting. Finally, Abdulla moved on, his voice calm but tighter than before. Only then did Ammar hit send. It was a small delay, not enough to raise suspicion, but enough for Ammar to feel he had made his point. In another meeting, the projector refused to connect. Abdulla crouched by the table, checking cables, restarting the laptop. Ammar knew the fix. He had done it many times before, but stayed in his seat, coffee in hand, watching as another colleague stepped forward to help. Outwardly invisible, inwardly it carved the silence a little deeper. Over the days that followed, delays began to weave themselves into the hours. A figure gone missing in a report, a client's reply arriving late, a deliverable stepping in only after its moment had passed. And then the email arrived. Subject: performance alignment, quick chat. The words looked harmless, but they sat in his inbox like a stone in water. Minutes later, the director's door opened. "Ammar, can we talk?" Inside, the blinds were full drawn, the monitor behind the director displaying a slip in the project timeline. The director spoke with a calm tone, but his words pressed on Ammar, pointing to reduced engagement, slower updates, a drift from his usual reliability. Ammar nodded, but his mind was elsewhere. The cracks were no longer hidden. They were on record. If this was the warning, what would the next step be? By the end of the week, the warning from the director still weighed on Ammar. He could feel the pressure building. Friday arrived. He walked into the mosque carrying that heaviness. The khutbah began, and then, almost as if responding to his thoughts, the imam said, "The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, 'Envy consumes good deeds like fire consumes dry wood.'" The words landed hard. They were not just about envy in general. They felt like they were about him. The imam continued, "The one you envy rests peacefully, while you only hurt yourself inside. The cure is to go against envy, speak well of them, make du'a for them, and wish for their blessings to increase. Even if it feels hard at first, keep doing it until your heart learns to follow." The question now was whether he would act on what he had just heard. A live client call was underway the following week. The client's voice was sharp. "These delays are unacceptable. We need this delivered by Friday. No excuses." The room froze. Abdulla glanced at his notes but didn't speak. Ammar felt the silence stretch. He could let Abdulla handle it, or step in. Finally he spoke. We can make the Friday deadline. If we focus on the vendor API today, we'll regain the lost time. The director nodded. Abdulla was told to move ahead, and Ammar was asked to support him. It was a small moment, but for Ammar, going against his envy felt like dropping a heavy weight he had carried for weeks.
In the following meeting, Ammar opened by endorsing Abdullah's recovery plan. The endorsement was brief, specific, and public, exactly what the team needed to hear. Later, he shared a market report that strengthened the proposal. At night, he made du'a, asking Allah to bless Abdullah's work, increase him in good, and purify his own heart from envy. The first night, the words felt heavy. By the third, lighter. By the seventh, natural. Weeks later, the atmosphere changed. Momentum returned. Clients noticed renewed clarity. Abdulla began looping Ammar into higher-level planning and crediting his contributions. Recognition landed differently now. Instead of shrinking, Ammar felt steadier, as if supporting another's rise expanded his own capacity. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps us share more stories that matter.